Hello.
سلام محمد جان، صدای بنده رو داری؟
Hello, Dr. Najat Salim. How are you?
سلام خوبی؟
Hello, Dr. Jabadi.
I'm
Thank you
fine,
so
thank
much for
you.
joining us.
صدای من میاد؟
Yes, we have your voice.
Okay,
Yes,
nice to see
definitely.
you here actually. Um, it seems that we have some international guests and I will talk in English, or what is the situation?
It would be better to go to talk in English, and maybe during the sessions we will have international guests. So it would be continue in English.
Okay, great. However, as you know, I am a little bit catch cold from yesterday, but at the moment I am fine and I try to manage the session. And perhaps our session today is a kind of an overview to skills of international collaboration.
Yes.
Let me see if I have also opportunity to maybe we can start in 2-3 minutes, that if some
Yes, it would be
newcomers are
better to
joining.
have the new participant in the sessions, and after that we can go to a start. But from the beginning, the session is recording, so I can manage the recording after the session, and I will share it in Word Academy too.
Great, thank you.
So again, thank you so much for joining us. Today we are going to start the new season of the scientific sessions, scientific and technical sessions of Material Science and Engineering Club. In the past seasons, we could hold 40 sessions about every subject around material science and engineering fields, from the chemical engineering, electrical engineering related to the materials, metallurgical engineering, ceramic engineering, polymer science, nanotechnology, mechanical properties or mechanical engineering, and aerospace engineering. So please welcome, join us. And if you have a new idea for discussions, we can organize and coordinate sessions for scientists, managers, and all engineers all around the world to participate in this type of meetings, to share our idea, share our knowledge, and bring new ideas for collaboration internationally. So again, I should say welcome to everyone. They are joining to this new session also. So the beginning, the first session, we have Dr. Aliyar Javadi from Technical University of Dresden in Germany and University of Tehran. He could manage to be with us for these sessions and talk about skills of scientific international collaboration, which is a very critical subject in these new worlds, because we need to collaborate with each other to propagate everything that we know and bring the new idea or generate the ideas for our groups and have a mutual benefits during projects. So I want to cut my talking and give the microphone to Dr. Aliyar Javadi to first introduce himself and let us know about his background, and after that we can start the session. And if he has any slides, he can share it with us and we can listen to her. And we ask him every 10 minutes, 15 minutes, give us a break, and other people, they can participate in these sessions, discuss, share idea or experience that they had. And then we can continue until 1.5 hours. It's our limitation for this type of meetings. And at the end of the session, we can have again questions and answers. Dr. Javadi, please go ahead.
Dr. Tabay, would you would you please make me a host? Could you please make me a host to share my slides?
Sorry, Dr. Tabay, we cannot hear you. I think your microphone is muted.
Yes, you can share. You are right now host. Okay, great. We can see you. Please go ahead.
Okay, hello everybody. Actually, I said at the beginning of the session that I am a little bit catch cold. Sorry for my voice. And if I needed to drink something that I can talk, maybe you can give me some time to refresh. By the way, this is today's session will be a kind of overview to this topic, skills of scientific international collaboration. Okay, this is actually somehow related to almost more than 10 years of my activities for international collaboration in Europe, basically in Germany, and between Europe and Iran, or between Germany and some other countries like Germany and Spain, Italy, France, Greece, that you would see which kind of international platforms exist for this kind of collaboration in Europe. And if you have any question, maybe you can stop me. During the session, we would have also a kind of perhaps introduction to World Academies. If some of you don't know what we can do with World Academies as a new platform for international collaboration. Dr. Tabay, is it good, my voice? Is it clear for you?
Yes, it's very clear.
Okay, perfect. By the way, as you see, I am based at Technical University of Dresden and Helmholtz Central now, and working with University of Tehran since 2013. But before that, I have been for about 8 years at Max Planck Institute in working on dynamic surface phenomena and colloidal systems, multi-phase process, and physical chemistry or thermodynamic of these topics. Let's see if my slide works. Yes. Actually, as you see, the topic is skills of international collaboration. And the most important point might be in first slides, which might be not really that much noticed by people who want to do international collaboration. Because in general, people when think about international collaboration, most of them are looking for some position or some available grants for projects or exchange of students and professors. This is true that a major part of international collaboration is this. But the point is that international collaboration needs some skills, and I would say it is rather kind of culture. We should know the culture of international collaboration. And with such training step by step, you would be able to initiate several collaboration, including some positions or students or professor exchange. Of course, one may just start international collaboration with a position and vice versa. Sometimes students or professors find a kind of position for their PhD or postdoc or joint projects, but maybe they never act a kind of that position like an international collaboration. It means that not everything in international collaboration means positions and grants, and not everybody who find a position is doing international collaboration. International collaboration, scientific international collaboration, is much more broad area that we would have a kind of overview on this. And hopefully the next sessions that I would be also in much better health condition. This is just a normal catch code. Don't worry about me. By the way, we would try to present these skills of international collaboration in a full workshop, and would be also a kind of certificate by World Academies. Then we would have also representative of people from DFG, German Research Foundation, from DAAD, German Academics Exchange Service, from UNESCO that most of you know, or from other organizations in Europe or other countries as a representative of international collaboration section, some universities that provide some clear and very targeted information for international collaboration. Then we would have today just an overview, and with Dr. Tabai and colleagues at World Academies, we would design we are designing actually the full workshop that will be announced, the sessions and the framework of this workshop and the time within next weeks, and you would be able to attend the full workshop if you are interested. This image, as you see, compare the traditional world that was somehow low dynamics, short distance of exchange of knowledge, culture, opportunities, and challenges for 1,000 years. This means, for example, world for about some 100 years ago, or let's say even until 50 years ago, before digital age. That if there were some available positions, problems, challenges, opportunities in a corner of the world, it needed certain time to be announced, to be found, to be searched, and then starting collaboration. But nowadays, we are in modern world, which is fast, dynamic, long distance exchange of knowledge, culture, opportunities, and challenges. In such a world, we need to do collaboration, international collaboration. Otherwise, will happen international collision. I make an example, for example, like Autobahn, that when you go, for example, in Autobahn with your car, with two ways roads, 100 kilometers per hour, you have to collaborate with the other guys coming from the front, otherwise will be very bad accidents and traffic and problems. But if you are, for example, just with a very low speed, walking in pedestrian, okay, if we collaborate with others to select, to have the choice to collaborate together to have a better walking would be better, but it is maybe not as much as collaboration in Autobahn. The modern world today is like this. Then universities today and countries, the scientific organizations cannot say if they are interested and want to have international collaboration or not, because we need it. It is an essential issue today. Then either if your scientific organization, your universities, research institutes, even companies, startups, have international collaboration. Of course, you can use such courses and such discussions to be improved and somehow have a kind of added value for your institutes. And if they don't have, you can initiate it, because it is, for most of scientific organization, research institute and companies, necessary. Okay, so far the voice was okay, Dr. Tabai. If there is any question up to here.
No, I don't see any question in the chat, and we
Okay,
don't
okay.
have
By the way,
any raised hand. But
yes,
if the participant, they would like to ask any question or they have any points, they can raise hand or writing in the chat.
Yeah.
We can transfer their idea or the notes to you. And if they want to talk in Persian, no problem. They can come and ask their question in another language.
Okay, good. Actually, I know that some students and professors or colleagues, researchers here, maybe they are very interested that quickly go to which kind of frameworks is that I can do application and whatever. This is a part of our overview and later also part of our full workshop. But as I said, I believe as a person that I spent more than 10, 12 years of my life in international collaboration with several countries and research organizations, universities, and scientific organizations. This introduction to think internationally, to work internationally, to write internationally is very much important. And if you are able to do this, to think internationally, to present your work internationally, and when you want to define a project, do the experiments internationally, you would see that there are many positions and frameworks available that you would be able to be successful for some of those. Therefore, the culture of international collaboration is very important, as you see in this slide, to study and think internationally about scientific topic and technology developments. It means that if I am a chemist or physicist or mathematician or a social science, I have to think that what is the position of my research work, not only in regional area in my city, not only in my country, but also internationally. What can be from my research work interested for others, and who else around the world is working on topics related to my work. It can be physical chemistry, or can be social science, or can be art, whatever. I think this is the first important issue for international collaboration. We see that sometimes there are professors and students that they never actually think in this way. Maybe if they need some references for their papers, or if they need to find some solutions or whatever, they try to search targeted for science, but not for the groups, not for research atmosphere and cities, people around the world that work on that. Therefore, this is very important issue, and I recommend you, if you are a professor, try to encourage your students for this purpose. And if you are a student and your professor don't think in this way, maybe you can encourage them to have a look to the groups that work on the topic related to your work, and encourage them for international collaboration. Sometimes there are professors that encourage students for international collaboration, sometimes vice versa. Students encourage professors for international collaboration, or companies or startups. Therefore, this is very important that we think in this way. And next step, when we see, okay, what is and where is the position of the research topic that we have internationally, we should think about the concepts of international collaboration, which can be a kind of MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, that we know MOUs are important, but can be not really active and not that much supportive. But MOUs are important when there is an MOU between your group or your university with other university. This can somehow enhance your wish for international collaboration. And for example, if you want to initiate a collaboration, or you have a wish to collaborate with someone in Norway or in Germany or South Korea, whatever country, you can ask from the international office of your university or your research organization if there are any MOU signed already. If there are, it would be good when you contact the professors and researchers around the world, you mention that already there are MOU between your organization and their organization. This would encourage the experts and professors when there are MOU, because if there are MOU, generally, MOU are signed by the president of the universities or organizations. And generally, they are interested that something come out from it. Sometimes there are MOU that are signed for some years between two countries or two cities or two universities, but not that much professors and students used that MOU, no initiation of international collaboration by students or researchers to use such MOU. And if you know that there are such MOU available, they would support you. It means that generally the chair, director of the universities and institutes are interested to make active the MOU, because generally they have spent already a lot of time to sign this MOU. But who will benefit the MOU? Generally, this is a kind of bottom-up. Sign an MOU is top-down, can happen between two countries, two organizations, for example, between German Research Foundation and Iran National Science Foundation, INSF, DFG and INSF. We have been, for example, active to define and sign such an MOU between two countries. But finally, these are professors, scientists, and students that can use such MOU. But again, sometimes even the head of institutes and departments and professors, they don't know which kind of MOU are available. For example, if you go, for example, to Technical University of Berlin or university in Australia or Iran, most probably they have MOU with some 100 universities in last 10 years and is still active. But maybe they didn't use it that much efficiently. Then MOU can be something very important, but can be also not really active and useful. And the concepts of international collaboration, generally people think about the exchange of students. But I would say the first step in international collaboration, when you contact some professors or some research organization, start to talk about the idea. People should know you on which topic you are working, what is your idea behind, what are your tools, techniques, and what is your real interest, how they can collaborate with you. Because professors and experts around the world, similar to us, for them it is important that some achievements really come out from the collaboration, joint projects, or doing some joint experiments, or having some joint students. For this purpose, we should not start to talk about exchange of students or available position or sabbatical study. This is not a good idea. It is better to talk about their research work, their research interest, showing some of your papers and results and talking about their results or their techniques. And after that, there will be some interest. It is a kind of scientific friendship, actually, international collaboration. And if they are interested to work with you, the budget and positions will be appeared or can be developed together. Therefore, it is important that what is the concepts that we have every side, how we initiate such international collaboration, and what is our expectation. Are we looking for some facilities, some finance and research grant, some scientific results, some data? And then don't think that you don't have any benefits or potential for them, because sometimes maybe the other side cannot open a full position for your students, but can accept your student as a guest student. Guest students are generally much less expensive, or maybe 1/3 of a full contract, because a full contract of a PhD position, for example, in Europe can be more than €1,000 or 100, let's say, for some research institutes can be €2,000-3,000, including tax, including administrative cost, and blah, blah. But a professor, as a guest professor or guest students, with half of these expenses, or even sometimes 1/3, can do really a good research work for some months there, and there are less paperwork, less official issues. Therefore, it is always important that how you start to discuss about it and what are your potential. If you have a good research area, if you have some techniques, if you have trained students that already they know some software simulations, they know some techniques, they have a basic background and can quickly start to collaborate with the host institute in the other country, these can be all potential. It means that not always the potential in international collaboration means money. I would say money is maybe 1 factor from 5 or even 10 factor required for international collaboration. But I see that generally our colleagues around the world, students and professors, experts, they consider too much importance for the research grants and for available positions already. The position can be developed. The position, international collaboration can be sometimes initiated via some weeks research stay of the professor at the host institute, or 2-3 months, for example, using Erasmus Plus in Europe. Or sometimes the professors have a kind of research grant fluent related to some other projects that can be related to the topic that you are interested, and maybe they can consider part of that for some weeks or some months research stay of the professors and students there. Then if you have a good idea and research interest that you feel really easily and honestly that you can work and want to work with someone in other country, generally you can find a way to do that. Even better that you start some collaboration via webinars, via joint sessions, exchanging some data, papers by emails, and then continue with developing new position for this purpose. Okay, then I don't want to put too much time on this first step. We can in full workshop. we can open the details and discuss about the examples and case studies or cases of performed already international collaboration in the full workshop later. By the way, as I said, initiation of international collaboration, a funding plan and supports comes after the first step that you know the idea, mobility, language issues, sometimes maybe a very good international collaboration that you start or try to start with a lot of efforts, maybe comes to not a successful collaboration because of the language. Then try, if you or your students want to do this kind of collaboration later, to have a minimum level of language. Although for research work, we don't expect a high score of TOEFL or IELTS, but at least to read and review the papers, to write the reports, to discuss, be active in scientific discussion is important, then be really prepared for that. Because the point is that a successful international collaboration by you can be also a real benefit for your colleagues in that organization. You can then later also open the atmosphere and develop new projects and having good feedback can be also growing the opportunities for other students and colleagues. But sometimes maybe the language can be an issue that you cannot have a good international collaboration. Here afterward, there are examples of German-Iranian, for example, cases of international collaboration that I skipped these slides, that which kind of frameworks between Iran and Germany is, and I try to have an overview on some international organizations that via those organizations you can have joint projects or initiate international collaboration. Because again, don't think that all international collaboration cases has to be done by universities or research institutes. If there is any questions so far, Dr. Tabai and participants, I would be happy to hear. Otherwise, I will have an overview on some international organization that you can do international collaboration, some organizations related to United Nations, like UNESCO and WHO that you heard because of Corona, how, for example, you can use WHO for international collaboration or UNESCO. And then we go to have a short overview also to some research scientific organization for international collaboration in Europe. Is there any question?
Thank you so much, Dr. Javadi. Just one point, maybe other participants noticed that notice mentioned that the Zoom will be disconnected after 6 minutes or 10 minutes. I don't know, but if other people they saw this message or not, but I hope they don't disconnect it, because it's not just normal Zoom. To see what's happened the next 5 minutes.
I don't think if there is a problem. Let's see if
okay, let's see after
when you define the Zoom meeting, you defined it limited time, or how you define?
I define it for 3 hours to be open for any discussions, but right now I received the message because it's a normal, or how to say that, without license, it's already you have 45 minutes or 40 minutes open
Mhm.
discussion by Zoom. But right now I see that is a 5 minutes. 5 minutes remains. Let's see what's
But this is a Zoom link that you initiated via World Academies and should not
Yes.
have a time limitation.
Okay, great. Great to know that. And Dr. Javadi, before this meeting, I gathered some question about scientific collaboration internationally, and I found some common questions about collaboration between groups and or universities. And for example, some students, they have a concern about how they can do some tests in other university in other countries. And recently in our country, we see that many students send a request. We want to use this machine, this equipment, your lab, and some facilities. And I saw that they have many questions in this regard. For example, they said that we want to do a test in foreign university. Receiver, they say that we receive a lots of email about this one. What we should do? We should go through the university regulations, or just continue as a formal emailing, or it's just a kind of interpersonal agreement. Which one is correct? Which one is more professional?
Okay, actually, this is depend that who will send email to whom. And if, for example, there is a student that contact you from a country for international collaboration, in general, he or she should have a kind of agreement, or let's say CC information with his or her professor. And if you, the people who receive this email are in the position that initiate international collaboration, can initiate international collaboration easily, because generally professors around the world have this ability to invite people very easily, just send an invitation letter that they can apply for a visa. The other issue is that sometimes even postdocs or PhD students that receive this email, there is also a possibility that the postdocs also via joint projects with other professors define such a sabbatical study or whatever. For example, recently one of my postdocs in Germany informed me that they are looking for 1 or 2 PhD students that they want to have a kind of guest students, maybe for 6 months or 9 months. We can think about it and ask me if I can introduce some of my students for this purpose. This postdoc, for example, which has been my PhD student already, is in a collaboration, has a position actually there, but is in collaboration with a professor there that together they can define such students exchange. It means that if really the topic and the research interest is something needed by the postdocs, PhD students, and they can satisfy and discuss this with their professor, they can go ahead one step and say, okay, for how many months and what is their expectation to cover which kind of expenses for their research stay. By the way, the time is going to be over. Do you propose that we refresh the Zoom meeting, or you propose that we continue in another session?
No, right now the time is showing on the Zoom. I think it's, as I mentioned, is for the normal Zoom. It's just 40 minutes, but I organized this session for for three hours, but usually we finish it sooner than
And
3.
if it is finished, we create quickly a Zoom link and everybody can back here quickly. Maybe they can receive the link in a group, or I don't know in which, on LinkedIn or on Board Academy. Or
Hello, everyone. I'm so sorry for this technical problem. We supposed that we have full access to Zoom to connect for unlimited time, but unfortunately, it's going to have just normal access, 40 minutes per sessions. Again, sorry, we will go to solve this problem for the next sessions. Hello again, Dr. Javadi. I think we can connect with the previous links, but
yes, I see everybody is here again.
yes, I connected with the previous links, but we should solve this problem because sometimes the sessions go more than 1 hour or even more than 40 minutes.
But we didn't have this problem. I don't know how it happened.
Yes, I don't know what's
Mhm.
this problem happened. Maybe we should talk with the Dr. Hejazi for this problem to solve it, because we want to have more session, more discussions, more questions. So let's go. Maybe we have right now we have another 40 minutes. We can.
Okay, let me to okay, make me please again host that I can upload the.
Sure. Please, you are host right now.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Now, do you see the slides?
Yes, I can see the slides.
Okay, great. By the way, let's have a quick look to some international associations that we can do international collaboration with them. By the way, the question that you asked already was my reply related to what you asked?
Yes, I got the answer.
Yeah.
If
What I want to say is that generally, if the topic are really interested for the professors and experts, both sides, is a way to find the solution to initiate international collaboration, in particular for exchange of students and professors. To have a very formal joint projects is another story, can be very easy, for example, between two universities in Europe, or between Europe and US or Canada, as they have many active frameworks. But joint projects between Europe and Asia, depends on the country, can be easy or difficult. Sometimes can be easier because there are, for example, topics on health or environment or energy that might be some research grants dedicated to such topic that a European or a university in Germany or Europe collaborate with a university in Middle East, for example. This can be even easier, or can be difficult, as there are some international organizations and grants which are more fluent and dedicated to European countries or whatever country that they want to do collaboration. By the way, generally, the international associations that you can do collaboration via them are either intergovernmental organizations, like, for example, United Nations, which is a kind of intergovernmental organization, and UNESCO also is somehow like this, or WHO, for example, or can be non-governmental organizations. It can be defined as association or union or federation or society, foundation. Different words can be used. It is good to know about this because Dr. Tabay, as I said, a part of our workshop can be very helpful and attractive for students and professors who want to do international collaboration. But a part also can be good for people who want to be a kind of expert in international collaboration, to act as a person for international collaboration affairs in their university and research institutes. Because the point is that, as I said, although it is very much needed, such international collaboration, but there are not that much expert available in different universities and organizations around the world that they can perform a good affair and support for international collaboration. Okay. The slides, selected slide will be available later for the full course on World Academies to know a little bit more professionally about such organizations. By the way, UNESCO is one of the most famous organization around the world, which is actually the scientific wing of United Nations. It means that this security section of United Nations, which is very famous to stop wars or act via forced actions around the world, and United Nations is more known because of the activities of this security wing of United Nations. By the way, United Nations has two main wings, and the other wing is UNESCO, which is for education, science, and culture collaboration. Sometimes I criticize the UNESCO because I have worked with UNESCO for several years, in 2015 to 2017, and from 2020 and 2021, because at University of Tehran, we had this chair on water reuse for UNESCO, and the international affairs somehow was with me, with Dr. Sarafzadeh. And I was in collaboration with UNESCO for this section. And I criticize that UNESCO can be much more active than what is now. And if you go to the first page of UNESCO, it is written a very, very nice sentence that as the war first appear in the mind of people and then come in physical reality, unfortunately, war between people and countries first is developed in the mind, thinking in that way, and then become a challenge and a real war. UNESCO wrote in the first page that therefore we should create or develop peace in the mind. Then this is one important, let's say, sentence illustrating the mission of UNESCO, that by scientific and cultural collaboration, we should try to bring people together to be more friendly and more productive, to decrease war and challenges around the world. By the way, let's see how one can do a collaboration via UNESCO. UNESCO, as I said, is a kind of intergovernmental research, intergovernmental organization, international organization. And there are generally a national commission for each UNESCO in each country. And via this national commission, the country is linked to the UNESCO. And since I think 90 and something, almost 30 years ago, this UNITWIN in UNESCO, UNITWIN or UNESCO chair are defined, because first UNESCO didn't have enough platform that each country used the capacity of their universities for this education, science, and cultural collaboration. But it is defined in 92, these UNESCO chairs or and UNITWIN networks. This means that the universities and research institutes or some research organizations around the world can be part of this network, that via UNESCO national commission in each country, they can initiate collaboration with other countries. But the point can be, for example, how we can establish a UNESCO chair, because sometimes you have heard about UNESCO chairs around the world, how many UNESCO chairs are available, who can create a UNESCO chair, what you can do with the UNESCO chair. These are the things that we can, in more details, discuss in the full workshop that we would have later on this topic. By the way, you can see more than 800 UNESCO chairs by this date, because UNESCO chairs sometimes are created for 3 years or 5 years. And there should be a report after 3 or 5 years that what you did with the UNESCO chair, and it can be extended for another 3 or 5 years. Therefore, the UNESCO chairs are created by the professors at universities, mostly. And as an example, for example, we can have a look on UNESCO chair that we had at University of Tehran for water use. This is an example that in each country that you want to define a UNESCO chair, if you are a professor, or if you have a research or academic position in a university around the world, any country, and you are interested to create a UNESCO chair. Why? Because, for example, you're working on water reuse, or you're working on some social topics, some engineering matters, whatever, that you think there is a combined important aspects of scientific research and social aspects. And for example, when you try to solve such challenges or create such capacity and opportunities in your city, in your university, it might be interesting for you that, for example, how these kind of challenges are managed in another country like Germany, another country like Korea or South Africa, USA, to share the knowledge and experiences between the universities on certain topics. Of course, maybe the professor can directly try to find another professor or research group, or maybe a student who is interested on a topic in agreement or arrangement with his professor, her professor, try to find other research groups around the world who work on that topic. Of course, this is possible. But sometimes these things are more productive and with better prestige when you do it via UNESCO chairs, because the UNESCO chairs around the world are established for this purpose. Therefore, if you think that your research group has this capacity, whatever country that you have, that there are combined scientific, research, and social aspects, and you want to share it with someone else, and you think that your you can gather some colleagues, maybe, for example, if you are a postdoc or if you are a professor, you see, okay, you have your own research group, there is another group in other department, there is a startup, or there is a company in the city or in the country that somehow you work together on that topic, you can come together. And this professor or someone with academic position can define, can develop a proposal to establish a UNESCO chair. This is actually something that might be a little bit time consuming, but after you have this idea and you have at least a small group, you can write this proposal and share this proposal with your international office of your university or research institutes, because this is not just limited to universities. UNESCO chair or Unitwin networks in UNESCO can be also related to research centers or centers related to the affairs that can be a player for such topic. For example, if you look to the UNESCO chair, UNESCO water family chairs around the world, United Nations and then UNESCO has this three important branch of IHP, Governmental Hydrology Program, that most of the program of water issues around the world, and UNESCO and United Nations is handled by this IHP program, and then chairs and centers that collaborate with this IHP or directly between the countries, and the World Water Assessment Program developed by this. And for example, in the time that I provided this presentation, I think 2 years ago, this slide, almost 25 chairs and 60 centers related to the water were active in that time. And you can see, for example, the different UNESCO chair in water resource, for example, in Sudan University, or UNESCO interdisciplinary chair in sustainable water resource management in Morocco, or in France, or other countries. And the good point is that then you can have a good collaboration between the UNESCO chairs directly or via the National Commission of UNESCO. There are sometimes budgets dedicated to some topics that this budget can be somehow used for the projects that can be developed by this or in collaboration be performed between the UNESCO chairs and National Commission of UNESCO, or maybe directly the UNESCO chairs can work together. What you can do with UNESCO chairs, maybe you have a UNESCO chairs that is not that much active, maybe a few workshops per year, maybe a small joint projects. But there are also UNESCO chairs that they have maybe 1,000 members in the country. It means that a UNESCO chair can initiate somehow a large collaboration with other institutes, universities, research centers, industry, companies in the country or around the world on the topic who is interested. I remember in 2015 when I was in this COP 2015, sorry, I needed to drink something. There were UNESCO chairs, I think, in South America countries that they organize more than 30 workshops a year in which more than 1,000 people had collaboration. But there are also UNESCO chairs around the world that maybe per year they organize just 2-3 workshops. By the way, UNESCO chairs are a kind of opportunity and framework that you can have workshops or special days or weeks on different topics that you want. That how you can use the capacity of science and education to solve problems in your country or city, and how you can share the results with other countries. They work sometimes even on technology transfer via UNESCO chairs. For example, if there is a problem for on some energy resource or energy saving, energy efficiency or water treatment, and you want to see how the other countries try to solve this problem, UNESCO chairs can be helpful for technology transfer. Or for example, via UNESCO chairs, you can participate in international programs. For example, the representative of the COP21 in 2015, although a part of these participants come from the government directly, means official representative of the UNESCO commissions from each country to come to agreement to whatever long-term or short-term programs about climate change or energy or water, society, internet, or whatever. UNESCO chairs also can participate in such program. And even just, I would show you how via such a program, for example, we could participate in developing program of IHP for United Nations for next 7 years. It means that via our UNESCO chair, we could propose some idea for next 7 years, that in hydrology program of the earth, or water resource management, or water and society linkage, whatever idea that maybe you have and you wish, how we can make a better society via better education and science. Via your UNESCO chair, you can participate in such programs. As you see, when we think about the UNESCO chair, of course, Then via UNESCO Chair, you can find colleagues, positions, exchange against students. UNESCO Chair give the prestige and position to the professors and people who work with that to have maybe some more fluent and accelerate the international collaboration. But as you see, not everything is just limited to finding the positions. This is an example that how and what we can do via the UNESCO, or you can go to the website of UNESCO. There are many important documents available. I don't think if any of you or even your colleagues ever tried to download some documents of UNESCO to see what has been the challenges, issues, and collaboration between countries on different topics to use science and technology to manage it. But there are many documents available there, and it takes time really to read and use very important documents on UNESCO website. But here you can see how much budget has been dedicated to different countries on some topics. In the past, I think UNESCO Chair had, for example, per year some research budgets directly dedicated from UNESCO, but in recent years, I think there is not a basic fund directly for UNESCO chairs, but they can participate in joint projects. Okay, I think, Dr. Tabai, if there is question so far, maybe I can try to reply. Otherwise, it is almost 1 hour, and I don't want to talk longer as I need to be refreshed more, and the participants also, I don't want to make them tired for this. Then we can continue the workshop later if the participants are interested. That what can you do, for example, via International Association of Universities, which is another organization in United Nations. And then what about WHO, which kind of benefits and activity you can have via World Health Organization. These are some examples that how one can use such organization. And then will be discussion about European Research Organization, ERC. And different available frameworks that researchers and professors in Europe, based in Europe, and even for some cases out of Europe, can apply directly or in collaboration with researchers based in European country on that. And in the final section, we would have a look also later on COST organization, European Cooperation in Science and Technology, COST organization, what one can do via COST organization for research collaboration, and then German research system and different funds and frameworks for students and professors. Okay, if there is any question, I would be happy to reply as possible as.
First, thank you so much, dear Dr. Javadi. Regarding your health, I much appreciate being with us, talking for us, and sharing your experience. I know that it was difficult for you, but at the end of this session, we invite all the participants, if they have any questions, they can ask, even in Persian language. We don't have any problem in these sessions. If you have, you can talk in your own language, and we can answer it in your language too. If you can raise hand, and then you can open your microphone, or you can write it on the chat. But if there is no question, I should mention that this type of session about scientific collaboration, research management will be continued in another group in World Academy. And we will organize some sessions, some online meetings to have a discussion, sharing experience about research management, which is very critical for the new scientists and even people. They have lots of experience in research, because we need to update ourselves and be up to date regarding the new achievement, new methods. We will see you regarding these topics in other session in very close near future. However, if you need a new idea, if you need guidance from Dr. Javadi, if you want to have questions, you can send email to our club or send directly to Dr. Javadi. I think he always is very kind to help other people, and he definitely answer you. For the next sessions, I should mention that in this club will continue every Sunday, almost at these times. We will try to have an online meeting, and we will try to solve this problem with the Zoom for the future. We will try to talk about the scientific topics, subjects, and technical topic even about material science and engineering in the field of energy, materials development, from the polymer science, chemistry, physics, mechanical engineer, aerospace engineer, nanotechnology, and metallurgy. So it's open discussion. Every time that you feel that you want to discuss about your project, you want to share your idea, you want to even bring questions and find an answer, please let us know. We will organize and coordinate a meeting with you, and we will advertise this type of meeting in social medias to gather all scientists to first hear each other, and then share our knowledge and experience, which is very important, I think, even in scientific collaborations. I think that Dr. Ahadi has a questions. He's asking, I think that's questions for Dr. Javadi. Dr. Ahadi asking, does the collaboration with UNESCO possible only via university or scientific institution, or the researcher and professor can do the collaboration independently?
Actually, there are cases that you need to have a position in academic position or research position in a university or research institutes to initiate such collaboration. But there are cases that even maybe the professors or graduate students, PhD or postdoc level, if even they don't have a position, they can, based on their CV and achievements, apply for positions. Depends. Is it clear, my voice?
Yes, your voice is clear.
Okay. Then both is possible. Between institutes, including university and research institutes, between professors and researchers who are already employed at universities and research institutes. And even there are cases that professors and researchers who are not employed, but they have a very good CV, they can apply for some grants, like, for example, Alexander Humboldt in Germany, or there might be some cases that depends on the CV, scientists can apply for grants.
Thank you very much. If Dr. Ahadi find his answer from your explanations, if not, he can continue and ask you questions.
Mm-hmm.
No, thank you so much, Dr. Ahadi, for participating in this discussion. and thank you so much for being with us. I think we are going to finish this session today. Thanks
Yeah,
again.
Dr. Tabai,
Yes, please. Go ahead.
including you and yeah, someone else has a question.
Sorry, Dr. Jawadi. Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, please.
Thank you so much for the complete information and the meeting. How we can access to the recorded video?
Dr. Tabai, did you record the video on local
Yes,
computer?
the video for these both Zooms, they are
On-
recording, and we will try to share the records on Word Academy's platform, and also in future we will share the videos regarding the main presenter acceptance. We will share it on YouTube.
Okay, good.
Thank
Then
so much.
you're welcome. Then maybe on Word Academy, you can both share on your group, Material Science and Technology, as well on the group of international collaboration. We can do both. In addition to some colleagues who are already familiar with Word Academies, like Dr. Tabai, who is the group leader of Material Science and Technology. Here, also Dr. Ahadi is our active colleague on Word Academies. If you have any question, maybe you can ask them or me. By the way, here we have also Miss Jafari that can support you, one of our mentors on Word Academy. If you have any question that how you can develop your activities and works on Word Academy, you can contact her or other colleagues. Okay, thank you everybody and have a nice time. See you later.
Thank you so much, Dr. Javadi, and thanks to all participants. I hope to see you in the next session too. Thanks a lot and have a great time. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.